And we're back. Hello, Mitchell. How you been today?
Not too bad. Howdy doody.
Howdy doody, howdy doody. How's everything going these days? It's been a while since we've been together talking about this. We're actually almost on the same time zone now.
I know, just an hour. I'm an hour behind now.
An
Instead
hour
of
behind, yeah.
in the future, you were in the future, but you
I was in
couldn't
the,
tell me the lotto numbers.
that's right. I was in the far future, but not as far in the future as that could possibly give you any information like that. And definitely not in the Futurama
Yeah.
future either. So but that's okay. Now we get to do this again. Happy to be back. So, welcome everyone to today's episode, season 2, episode 11, The Lesser of Two Evils. So, overall, I think this episode's actually really, really good. I think it's very, very strong. All the storylines kind of match up. They all kind of meet together. I don't think there's any issues with it. Do you think that?
Rather than being like a few scenes, rather than being like a few scenes for the entire show, it goes in a lot of different places, which is not new to Futurama, but
Hmm.
I feel like this is the first one where it's like this many. It's not like a delivery there and back, and then something happens at the office or something like that. It's just it's everywhere.
Yeah, that's true actually. For the most part, they're mostly in New York for the most
Yeah,
part,
well,
and then
New York
except
is
for the
pretty damn
end.
huge,
But
right?
yeah, well, especially with like everything they do within the episode. But yeah, well, I guess we can start there. We'll just begin right at the beginning. So we get another cold open. We haven't had one of these in a while. This is just basically like Futurama is brought to you by arachnospores. What do you
Ugh.
think? What do you make of this? Is this kind of like just a little joke? They couldn't think of any reason to put this into the episode, so they just put it into the cold open or something? Or
You know what? For all we know, it's somewhere in there. Now, it's arachnospores. Is that a food or is it a spray to get rid of them? Like, because it looks like a can of Raid, of bug
of
spray.
Raid, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the I think it's Phil Lamar, but like the voice who's speaking about like arachnospores, it's like the virus that's has a funny name, like so I don't know. I think it's actually like a virus, like a sickness. So I don't
Spores
know.
are pretty scary when you think about it.
Yeah, no, that would be horrible. Um, but then we get it's not really, it doesn't amount to anything as far as we can tell. But basically, then we just go into the main ordeal. The show that watches you back is our opening crawl, I guess, or our opening little segment there at the bottom. And we cut into, as we normally do, the trio watching TV. What are they watching, Mitchell? What is this? What
Cops?
Cops department?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Did,
obviously a
did you ever
parody.
watch Cops at all when you were younger? Because
Yeah,
yeah.
when I was a kid, I did. When I was a kid, my dad was a cop, so he used to watch it, and I guess it was actually one of the most common shows because it was very, very cheap to make.
Oh, 100%. You just had people with
Um,
video cameras follow cops
right.
and on calls and stuff.
Yeah, but it made the most money. Like everybody watched these shows all the time, so it made like the most money. It's actually the beginning of reality TV, believe it or not. Is Cops?
Mm,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
agree with that, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say
yeah,
it's definitely where it made it mainstream.
it's the first reality show to be out there, as far as I can remember. I think that was like the original reality, quote unquote reality show was Cops. The ones that like all the drama crap, that's something else entirely. But like Cops was one of the originals. But yeah, they're watching Cops Department. We get this little, those two cops that are always in every single Futurama episode that are right. Was it Earl, the robot, right? And
URL, yeah,
URL and what's Smitty? Is that his name?
I
I
think
always
so.
forget
Yeah,
his name. Yeah. So there's those two, and they're banging on some, or they're getting into some guy's house or apartment, and it's like this weird like centipede alien thing, and there's like the bleeping
unblur your face,
swearing.
man. Oh, fine. What a skill that would be to be able to blur your face so cameras couldn't see, or just like anyone. That would be very handy in today's. Uh, Everyone has cameras.
That's true. They were 20 years ahead for that particular thing. But no, I liked it. I thought it's a funny little gimmick, especially when he gets outside and he
And he
escapes and
crawls
goes
into
into
the
the
bush,
brush. Yeah.
and then Earl pulls out
Going
his shoe,
in.
going in. He doesn't even wear shoes. He's a robot.
Yeah, where did he get that shoe from? I guess he just stole it. Who knows? But then we
Marketing
get
materials.
to the rest of them and the three, I guess, and they're watching the show as it goes on a commercial. But the commercial break brings us to the main little draw of the episode, I suppose. Like there's a decent chunk that takes place here. Is Pastorama. Um, of course, a parody of Futurama, which is, of course, a parody of something else. But yeah, Pastorama, which is going back to old New York. And I'm betting you probably love this, like all these little jokes about all the historical inaccuracies, but they're at the same time, they're like kind of true, but they're not in the same thing. 1,000 years in the future, they're predicting what it was in the past that happened like this. So I think it's kind of funny. But yeah, join the mammoth hunt, dudes.
We're whalers on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
That one's
Yeah,
more about the
basically the same kind of
concept of
idea, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What was it? The second episode. You didn't even go to Fungineer school, so you didn't even know what you're talking about. I wonder if they hired the same Fungineers for this.
Oh, that's right. The ones who don't know anything about it, even though they literally have people frozen from that time who could tell them about all this stuff.
Oh yeah,
But as we see, yeah.
there's also because when they go to the Pastorama theme park, whatever you want to call it. So when they're there at the Pastorama and stuff like that, Fry gets mugged, but he thinks it's a gimmick for the park. But in the
That's right.
background, it has Star Wars 9, Yoda's bar mitzvah.
It's, yup.
And I
They
just gotta say,
actually,
that
yeah.
movie would have been 1,000 times better than the episode 9 that we got.
Yup, it absolutely
This
would have.
this is the truth, and not just my opinion. This is the truth.
For sure. At least Yoda's bar mitzvah meant they had a plan the whole time.
When
No,
she
that's
turned
right.
1,600 years old.
Yeah, I almost forgot about Yoda's bar mitzvah there in the background. That's right, when he's getting mugged. Actually, there's a lot of these awesome little background things that you blink and you catch and kind of thing, but you can definitely
Futurama is
see.
pretty good at that for their backgrounds. Like, but they're more like a. Oh, did you see that? Yeah, clever, right? Yeah.
It's clever, super clever. I'm also a huge fan of, like, do you know, like, the people in the commercial and they're dancing in the balloon? It was Einstein and Hammurabi, who's like they're nowhere near each other in history, but they're like doing a dance. Um,
I don't know. I barely understand what Einstein's all about, so that guy's still kind of new news to me. I haven't really studied that or read up
sure.
on it.
Just I think the point of it is the fact that they're like 200 years apart from each other. They have no desire to be near each other whatsoever. That was kind of the joke of it. It's just like
Oh,
we're from the
yeah.
past. We're from the past. This is the future. So we put all of them together. That's why everybody's dressed like the weird Renaissance as well. Like they're wearing like the hats and the gear and all this kind of stuff. But they
Oh,
have like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
cars and all this kind of stuff. It's
They
all
they like doing jokes like that where like these two people have nothing to do with each other. Like I think it was the garbage episode where a clown and a nun were hugging after the garbage was in a way because like that those two would not
well,
get
because
along.
everybody else was hugging, right? So it's like all the opposites are just becoming best friends. So you have like a priest and like some other
I think it
religion
was
and
a
they're
Jewish guy,
hugging.
yeah, yeah,
Jewish guy
Catholic
or
priest and
whatever.
Jewish
Yeah,
priest.
exactly. And everybody's hugging. So the clown and the nun, because one's super serious, one's not. They get together like that. No, it's funny. I like that. Um, yeah. So the three of them decide to go. Fry's kind of showing them around, but he's not really. Not really. Like he kind of knows the stuff, but he doesn't actually know everything. So yeah, like you said, they got mugged. The actual mugger took their stuff, and that was probably one of the best jokes I think at the beginning. But then they see like old phone booths. Let's
The,
see.
the parking sign, which I love, because Fry asked the cop, and the cop told him to shut up. Which like the thing like it's a sign that has like you can park during this specific time and this specific day, but
Yeah.
you also get away from this specific time. I hate those things because you got to read them like 4 times to
Mhm.
understand what the hell's going on, and then you got to remember what time and what day it is. Is today Friday? Oh yeah, okay, good.
Right.
It's 3 o'clock. Oh crap, we just missed the cutoff time. Now I gotta pay for this parking spot. Blah, blah, blah.
And if you do that, but then if it's like an hour before it becomes free, are you going to risk it and not pay? Because then the
Yeah,
cop will
yeah.
come by and do it. Yeah, we move on then to, of course, the subway, which the mobile apartments with no rent, the automotive assembly. I thought this one was, I mean, this is a Whalers on the Moon situation as well. It's still like like these primitive robots, and they're just like these robots with like the clubs, but they're wearing
the
like
loincloth,
caveman.
like
Like Fred
The Fred
Flintstone.
Flintstones
Yeah.
loincloth. They had clubs going unga boonga unga boom, down an assembly line making cars. Yeah.
But they're just hitting the car. They're not doing anything. I thought that was great. Primitive robots doing that. So then, of course, we have Fry, who sees a car. He recognizes the car. He wants to touch it. The guy mistakes him for working there because of his outfit. And then Fry takes it, loses control, and hits the main new character that we'll see a couple of times throughout the series, Flexo.
Thrice.
Yes. Well, we see him this episode, the episode with his ex-wife, and then another one where he's in a dumpster. He's like getting thrown out, like when they're doing upgrade, the 3 times, right? So 2 times after this. And
it's literally Bender with a little goatee.
Right. That's it. He's completely the same. They're both bending units. They have a joke about it afterwards. I don't get the joke at all. I don't really care. something about a circle or about a cube or something. But in any case, Fry hits him. They bring him back to Planet Express, and the professor and Amy fix him up, which is fine. And Flexo is, I think obviously he's still voiced by John DiMaggio, has the exact same Bender voice, but the difference mostly is where Bender is super hateful and spiteful towards people. Flexo makes a joke, but then it sounds mean, but then he suddenly, ha ha ha, just kidding, right? Every time says something mean, and that's his gimmick. So there's not much there. Flexo and Bender then become friends. I guess there's not much more for this. It's just kind of like there's a little thing they're bringing Fry around, and Fry doesn't really like Flexo. Why doesn't Fry like Flexo? Does he think there's something off?
I think he's just because it's just one of those things of when like you're like especially younger when you're a kid or something like that and you have a best friend or something like that and then they kind of make another friend and you just get jealous in a way. It's like, but he's my best friend or she's my best friend. They can't have another best friend. I'm the best guys. It's as much as you might have a favorite best friend, you can have as many best friends as you want.
Sure.
But you got to make sure that
yeah. But yes, and Leela calls Fry out for that too, right? Saying like, oh, you're probably just jealous. And Fry sticks to his gut that Flexo must be evil. He must be the evil Bender because no one can be that nice. No one can be that good. There must be something off about Flexo, right? Yeah. So this is a conundrum for them, but one of my favorite parts, and we'll talk about this at the end, but one of my favorite parts here being, so the professor calls them all in for a meeting, but they're already in the meeting room, but he calls them to his bedroom to look at something.
I have something to show you.
Now, I always forget the professor actually lives in this building, so this is one of the few times we actually ever see his bedroom. Like there's, again, a couple of times throughout the series, nothing crazy. But he has like this giant bedroom, a really big bed, like all this stuff. Like he lives quite comfortably, and he has like the curtains on it.
Yeah, what is that type of bed called? The one with the curtains go around, you can close the curtains.
I believe it's called a canopy bed.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so he has like a canopy bed, like perfect for like privacy and light and all this stuff. So he gets the whole crew to join him, and they all go.
They close the thing, and like you can only see the canopy bed from the outside. Yeah.
And then it's like, and all of them are like, "Oh my God, it's so big! Can I touch it?" Like, beautiful jokes. I thought they were hilarious. But it turns out the professor actually has something called jumbonium or something, but it's like an atom, and it's going to be placed on a crown, which will then be sent to a beauty pageant that's on another planet.
Jumbonium.
So he was hired, his company's hired, obviously, so that means the crew, they're going to have to do this protection because there's going to be some thieves in the area who might try and steal it, blah, 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 get it to the destination. We get paid a lot of money, close to like $50,000 or over $50,000, something like this. So problem is, though, they can't afford not to have extra security, so they end up hiring Flexo that Fry is not okay with. I think this is one of your favorite little jokes, isn't it? With the with Leela calling them out like for their order of who's going to protect the sink at the time.
First Bender, then Flexo, then Fry. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's do it in order of importance. Oh, okay. First Bender, then Flexo, then Fry. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's do it in alphabetical order. First Bender, then Flexo, then Fry. I think that's probably my favorite joke. But I will say this: we missed a part like where the professor they want to change locations from the canopy bed, so they go to his tub.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, I
So now
forgot
he's
about
naked
that.
in a
Yeah.
tub. And
It's
one
like,
of my
yeah,
favorite
Professor,
things.
can we do this in a better place or another place? He's like, absolutely, no problem. And then it cuts to them
It's in
in
his
the
tub.
bathroom, and he's in a
The best
tub.
thing I like about this is that he has a little Flying Express ship as a toy boat in the bathtub. I love that because because he designed the ship, right? So
Mhm.
obviously either this is a little toy he made himself for his
Mhm.
bathtub, which is just even funnier, or this is just like the tiny model before the big model, and it just happens to float. He just brings it
He
with him.
just uses it.
Yeah.
You have to wonder, like, well, he's in the tub. Is he like, woo, woo, we're going to a planet. We're going to a water planet. I think when they're on their way there, this is also interesting for this. So the safe that they're using, isn't this like the safe has been seen a few times too, right? Like we've seen that, like this is actually part of the Planet Express crew ship,
They've
is
had
it?
saves. I don't know about this particular one. Because it was 2 months. I actually binge watched the entire series before I finished the new episodes,
Hmm.
and I don't recall them having a see-through safe other than this episode.
Is there not another one? Okay, I
They
must
they
be
have had
mixing
saves
it
on there
up.
or boxes or stuff like that, but
Sure. Okay. I remember the safe being like something, or maybe, oh no, you know what? It was another invisible safe that was in one of the Comedy Central
oh yeah yeah yeah
seasons, but it
the
wasn't
the
on the
one
Express
where
ship. The wine
oh crap, what is that one? The Tom Cruise movie where you could tell the future.
Minority Report. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that one. Yeah,
Or Fry is the police officer. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that was a good
So
one.
so that one was that's what I was thinking. But you're right. It's not on the Planet Express ship. So any case, they all have to take turns watching this thing, and Fry does not trust Flexo. So of course Bender's first. So Fry stays with Bender, makes sure like okay, like everything's okay. I'm gonna be here in case Flexo tries to like take it. And then Flexo shows up, so he stays with Flexo, make sure Flexo doesn't take it. Fry's up for like I think they do 8-hour shifts, and Fry's up for the whole 16 hours that they were doing it, and he doesn't sleep. So then as soon as his shift starts, passes out, and then when he wakes up, oh my God, it's gone. Everything is gone. And, or I should say the atom is gone. Everything's still there, but except for the atom. So the atom is gone. Everybody's freaking out. Leela and Fry and I'll say quote unquote Bender, even though it is Bender. You and I know it's Bender, are
After
walking
watching
around. But Bender is, sorry, this robot that looks like a vending unit is wearing a bunch of items or having items obscure his chin
like a
area,
turtleneck or a
turtleneck,
scarf.
scarf, a map of the ship, all these things. So one is led to believe that maybe Flexo is indeed there still, hiding and pretending to be Bender. So,
I do like that. But, there's also a little joke I also did like beforehand because
mhm.
Bender was standing guard of the thing, looking like a robot, slowly turning from left to right, and then Fry comes through and
Oh
he's like,
yeah,
Bender, I need to talk to you, and like, halt, who goes there? And Bender points the gun at Fry. He's like, just stop it, Bender. We need to talk. He's like, Fry who? So
yeah.
like he
Doesn't
didn't
even say
care.
his name. Yeah, yeah.
It's me because he expected it's me, Fry. Fry
You're
who?
right.
I just love that because Bender would have shot regardless.
Right.
But yeah,
Um,
I do love the turtleneck.
yeah. Turtleneck, scarf, map of the ship, and what's that called? An ascot, I think it is, like the one that the sailing sailors might use. Like you wrap around their Fred from Scooby Doo would wear it, whatever that is. So
Ascot, yeah.
mascot. So he's so he's doing this. Now this is also for the newer viewers and people who may not have watched the original series as it was coming out. This is now like part of this scene when Fry is trying to figure out. He's starting to figure out that this Bender may not actually be Bender. That is the beginning of the not sure if X meme. This is his eyes squinting down to see, like, I'm not sure if I've done this, or I'm not sure if this is the same thing as something else. That's
I love
in
that.
this episode. Yeah.
There-
So
There's three memes that have come out from Futurama. I love this one, and the other one, "Shut up and take my money," and then the "Why not Zoidberg," which I don't think Zoidberg has ever said in the thing.
why not
He
Zoidberg?
just says, "Hey Zoidberg."
Well, if we're talking memes, there's the fourth one then is I don't want to live on this planet
Oh
anymore.
yeah, that one
Right,
was
that's the
very
professors.
popular.
But
Yeah.
the two main ones a lot of people have used, at least in the past, was this one. This one's very, very common.
I would say probably the most common one.
Yeah, because it's very easy, right? Like not sure if X, right? Not sure if this or this. And the other one, like shut up and take my money, which that one's still probably my favorite, but that would be the case. So they figure it out, like, wait a minute, you are actually Bender? Like he rips it off, like, wait, you don't have a goatee, you are Bender? He's like, yeah, of course I'm Bender, like the whole time. So the writers have definitely subverted the expectation that this is indeed not Flexo pretending to be Bender. It was Bender simply just doing this. And then we even have on top of that, like who actually stole the atom, which is also subverted to it because it was with them the whole time, so to speak. But we do see
You also see Flexo laughing to himself and then running into the thing by himself,
like,
running into the building. Yeah. And you're just like, okay, so.
Yeah, you must be evil, right? And he runs in, and you're thinking like, well, okay, so he didn't run away, but he's running into the pageant for whatever reason. So the group, the trio, right? They show up and they're going to go talk and confront Bob Barker because they have to tell him that they lost it. He's the pageant host. I believe he's passed away now. He's been
pretty recently, actually. I was actually going to bring it up.
Yeah.
I'd have to double check. He passed away August 26th of this year.
Rest in peace, Bob Barker. Obviously, it's unfortunate he passed away.
Yes.
Was it August 2023? But very small cameo in this as the host, but he's still a glorious highlight to it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He's very funny. He has a very good line or two.
One of my favorite lines in Futurama, that's for sure. At least, and I'll say probably maybe favored by an actual guest.
This one is it the garbage one? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But spoken by a guest.
Of course. So they admit to him they've lost it. He's called them garbage. Only Bob Barker can. And they go running around, but then they see Flexo and they chase after him. So it leads to this whole thing with Bender running after Flexo, and they get into this giant fight. And it's a montage of destroying the area where the pageant is. And I want to talk about this as well. The pageant itself is for Miss Universe. So this is not just women in like human women. This is like all over the galaxy, or I guess the universe or whatever. So all sorts of different alien creature looking people. And, there's some interesting little designs and all this kind of stuff, but they start fighting each other. They break into all this stuff. And Leela has a gun, which she's going to try and shoot one of them. She doesn't know because they're like choking each other. They're trying to choke each other.
Their hands are on the chin.
That's right, on their chins. I do want to bring this up as well. Earlier in this episode, it was actually Leela who brought this up. Bender makes a joke when Fry hits Flexo. Bender says, "Ow, I think I got whiplash." And Leela says, "You don't have a neck," right? And he says, "Oh, I got ass whiplash or something." And then Flexo says the same thing. But then when they're fighting each other in the episode, they start trying to strangle each other. So it's kind of funny because they actually don't have necks, so there's nothing for them to strangle, so they're literally just covering each other's chins. But in any case, Fry tells her to shoot Flexo, despite the fact she can't tell which is which because it's hiding his goatee. That's the only identifying mark. So she shoots something above them. It falls down. I think it was like a universe model, crashes down upon them, and voila. We find out who actually stole it. And who actually stole the atom? Bender. It was Bender the whole time. So Bender had snuck in when Fry was sleeping, had taken it, he had dressed up in something to pretend to be Flexo, pretending to be himself. And then when it was found out that he was actually Bender, he played it off that Flexo must have stolen it, and the whole time he was just trying to take the money. Good old evil Bender. And Flexo was only trying to tell Bob Barker. Turned out he was a good character, he was a good guy. But he got caught, and Bob Barker had him arrested because they mistook him for Bender, which will come back in the future, which is I'm very happy about. They have like a little bit of a payoff with that thread. I guess next season, or is it the next following season? Whenever they see him again.
Well, no, the next few seasons, yeah.
Yeah, so when Bender becomes a Bender. for the actual
Yeah,
person.
it's kind of a similar thing of with Zoidberg, where Zoidberg has all that male jelly or whatever, has to go
Right.
mate.
So Bender
And
has to
this
do
one
that.
is that, which is like the same thing with Spock kind of thing, but this one is he's got to bend.
That's right. So he's trying to get all that out. So that's in the future, whenever that is, whatever episode that is. And yeah, and we complete the episode, so they get the atom. But of course, we also had a few get characters we've seen before are in the audience or the judges. And Zach Brannigan is here, being one of the judges, one of his snooty little things. I guess as well we can talk about this because the episode came out, but with the recent newest episodes, right, with like the new series that was back from ended in August or September or whatever it was, the first half, and we had one with Zach Brannigan being canceled. This would have been one of those things that they should have mentioned that he did in order for him to get canceled. Like this is the prime thing. Now I'm not going to argue about that episode. You and I will talk about that in the future. But this
3 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. When we get to these episodes. But this is like the main point, right? Like this is what Zach Brannigan always does. He's a very sleazy, I wouldn't call him intelligent, but he's just very, very clever in how he pursues women, we'll say, and what he wants. So anyway, he's being the judge. He's going to read the winner. He makes an announcement about seeing Leela by accident, and so he mistakenly calls her. She thinks she's won. She's all happy, despite the fact that she said she never thought about it. She never wanted to be it. Totally a lie. she clearly wanted to be Miss Universe at one point in her life. And
that's a fact in life, I think. Anytime you like, oh, I don't really care about the competition. You don't care unless you win, really. And there's people who want to win always, who'd never win. That sucks. And there's people who don't want to win, who do win. That also sucks. But it's those people like, I hate this thing. It's the worst thing ever. Oh no, I won.
Oh, I won. Oh,
I didn't expect
like a princess. Yeah, exactly. So no, I think that just adds a lot more to the Leela character. You see that she's clearly not okay with she's okay with herself, obviously, but she clearly wants to be impressive to other people, right? So like, oh, I could have won this, but alas, no. Is that Brannigan's like, no, it's not this. It's this person. I even wrote her name down, Ms. Vega 4.
She's like an amoeba character, a purple amoeba who's like the size of a person.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty sure that's something to do with like there was actually a callback to in one of the new episodes. Sorry guys, I know we're talking about the new episode all the time, but there was a silent film in one of the first Futurama things, which was with these people. Yeah. And it's just an amoeba character. So they're always in the background somewhere and stuff like that. I think even in the second movie with what is that? The Beast with a Billion Backs. I think this one even gets a line in that movie.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So it's like, so we see the character randomly, or like the model, quote unquote model of it.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, the amoeba aliens are a very common one, I guess, in Futurama, because I guess they're quite easy to kind of move around. They don't have like a mouth. You don't have to worry too much about it.
Yes,
maybe they move around like that. But you know who else is in there? I wonder if you picked them out. Do you know who's in the audience, who we kind of see once in a while and doesn't become big until like the final movie? Did you see who is in there? There's like the head model of the number 9 guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's in there too. Yeah.
Is this before or after they added the tinfoil?
This is before that. Yeah, because he doesn't have his hat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's just the old guy with the 9 on it, but you don't see the 9, but you see the model of the face. So I noticed him in the crowd, and I'm just like, I wonder if there's there's a theory here. Somebody could pull a theory out of this, even though we already know he's part of a secret society. Now we do. But back in the day, people could be like, oh, that character is there again. I wonder if anybody would ever notice that, but probably not, because we didn't have the internet as big as we do now. So one of those things. Any case, I guess we move on then to the final part. Your MVP for the episode, as well as your favorite scene or best scene you think that could have been.
I'd say there's a couple things with Fry. There's the whole ranking thing. First Bender, then Flexor, then Fry. Right. That's probably my favorite.
That's one of the funniest ones. Yeah, for sure.
And there's also another one which gets called back to in another future episode where the Beasting episode. At the end of this one, where it's like, well, this all happened, but guess what, guys? I made out with a radiator from the
Oh,
radiator
right.
planet. Fry, that's just a radiator. Oh.
Need a burn ward. Yeah. And what does he do in the B one? It's a cactus person or something?
No, because in the B one, because he dies, so they all go to his funeral, and then you had the giant Amazon woman saying, "You good, snoo,
Oh,
snoo,"
right. There's a
and then like the other
radiator.
4 people he slept with,
Right.
and the radiator just went meh.
Right. I forgot about that. The radiator's there. Oh, that's a good call. I totally forgot about that.
Oh yeah, one of the
Yeah.
things that you love about this, and I also support that love, and also agree with you, that the consistency and like the callbacks and just there's a word for this now, I can't remember what it is. Continuity. The continuity of this show is so good, and I think you and I can agree that the newest season kind of throws that away quite a bit.
To not get into it too much, what I will say is they have it, but they don't pay it enough respect.
There
That's
we
what
go.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
They have the continuity. They say these things happened, and they have, but then it's only used as like
They throw it aside.
honor. Yeah, it's not part of the plot, except for one or two, and one of them being like Amy and Kif, and those are the only ones that really have anything to do with it. But other ones, and you and I know which ones I'm talking about. They don't. They throw them in because like, oh, people like this episode. Oh, we should just reference this episode. It's like
I'm sure once we get to the actual episode, I think it's season 3. When you that is my all-time favorite season. When you and I get to that episode, I'm pretty sure 90% of that is going to be bitching about the new episode.
Because by that time, hopefully the other half will have come out by that time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, but yeah.
I mean, like when I'm back in the same city as you, I think for Christmas time, I'm pretty sure we could probably pound out a few of these until they don't.
Yeah, until we're done. Or there's like a little bit of a break,
Yeah, which is what we're happening. But thankfully, we figured out our YouTube stuff, and we're able to put it up here. We had some fun with that.
Only took 20 episodes, but that's okay. We'll get more of those out there for it. But yeah, I agree with you on your scenes, and I like the payback or the payoff as well. My favorite scene, actually, I really like the Pastorama, like stuff they did. I love that. I love that stupid, like 1,000 years from now, people are not going to know what actually happened, during the beginning of the 21st century, and then even before that. So they throw people together like Einstein and Hammurabi, and I think Al Sharpton. I forgot to mention Al Sharpton is thrown in this as well, and he's from the mid 1900s, like timeline and all this kind of stuff. So there's just all these random things, the primitive robots. I really like that. I thought that was great. There's a scene I forgot. I think it's one of my favorite lines. It just makes me laugh every time I hear it. Right before they get to the primitive robots and about building the automocar, there's that little hologram that they're watching, like the video, and it's like back in the day of old New York, traffic was one of the worst things, and people used to exchange horrible communication or whatever it was. And there's this one guy that says, "Up yours, bastard man." Like, it's just like their primitive idea of what the swearing was back then. I thought was hilarious. So that's one of my favorite lines. I also really like when they go to the professor's room and there's like the curtains covered. Like, oh my God, it's so big. Can I touch it? I thought that was funny.
That one was pretty good. The professor always has good one-liners. He doesn't really have. There's only a few times where they kind of did a story with him in my mind.
Well, his stories are usually pretty straightforward because he's the oldest character, right? So he'd go the farthest.
No, Fry's the oldest character.
Oh, that's true. He's the oldest physical character. Or physically oldest character, I should say. But he always goes back in that time, right? Because he's like the creator of the robot company and the designer of the operating system. So we get a lot of history of Futurama.
Yeah, pretty much the professor made everything for New York, basically.
Yeah. He's like, there's a reason he lives the way he does, but he's also not that rich, probably because he turned his back on mom or she fired him or whatever, right? So,
she was evil and took all his money.
Yeah.
Probably.
He still gets by with his delivery company, even though they don't actually do very many deliveries.
But
they
pajamas.
do. So what about your MVP?
Fry. Just because like the few scenes I like are his.
And of course the meme starts up there, right?
Oh yeah. This is the meme piece as well. Yeah. I you know what? As much as I like that meme, I kind of don't really associate it with it just much. It's more of a still image in my mind. It doesn't come from doesn't come from that movement. But I'll still like Fry. Fry is my
Yeah.
MVP.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you as well. I'll go with Fry. He's my MVP as well. I think there's a lot of good. Like this is kind of what again, not to go into the new episodes, but this is kind of the
Peak
epitome.
Futurama.
Not even, yes, peak, but not. I wouldn't necessarily call it peak. I think you and I are right when we say like season 3 and 4 are probably quite peak.
Three is my favorite.
But this is what the epitome of what Futurama is supposed to be. Like it centers and revolves around Fry.
Yes, it's that the fish out of water thing. We've explained this
Yeah.
with like Harry Potter and stuff like that. How
Right.
because Harry Potter was introduced to the world of wizarding, like we know nothing like he did.
Yes, right.
And same
That's
thing with
why.
Fry. He was born
Right.
in the 1900s, or when we were, kind of thing, and
Yeah.
then he went to the future. So we're supposed to go around him, kind of thing,
Right.
right? We can
So-
obviously empathize or sympathize, whatever the word I'm looking for here, with Leela and Bender, all stuff, because they all have the same emotions we have. It's just their character's a little different, right?
Right.
But they know things
Fry,
like
yeah,
Fry.
Fry is definitely the window for the audience to see.
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Yeah,
But
yeah.
we don't see that anymore with this current season. I think that's a huge issue with it. Like Fry is
Yes,
very,
I
very
100% agree with you.
But
Honestly,
anyways, that's yeah.
I think you and me should just do a podcast about us just hating the new season, and we can do one where we like it as well.
Yes, no, we'll definitely. You know what? I think what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to do the newer ones as well as continuing with the old, and we're going to do them step by step, just like now, just because they're new and they're coming out. So this would probably be the best time to do it anyway. But yes, we're definitely going to hit those up in the future, and this is a bit of a taste. But in any case, yes. Thanks again, Mitchell, for joining me, and of course for everybody listening. And we will come back for the following episode here, number 12 of season 2, Raging Bender. So that'll be for the following episode then. So thanks again, Mitchell. Talk to you next time.
Yeah, see you later, man.